Welcome to Movie Q. I'm Justin Rivers alongside Catherine Stevens, and we're here to talk about good movies, bad movies, queer cinema, and priceless antiques. Today, our first topic is The Umbrellas of Cherbourg by Jacques Demy.
How do you spell that?
Jacques and D-E-M-Y.
Oh, okay.
It's a 1964 film as part of the French New Wave by Jacques Demy. It stars Catherine Deneuve, and the two characters are Geneviève and Guy.
Guy, I like it, Guy, better than in English when it's guy. But anyway.
Mais je ne pourrai jamais vivre sans toi. Je ne pourrai pas, ne pars pas, j'en mourrai. Je te cacherai et je te garderai. Mais mon amour, ne me quitte pas.
Tu sais bien que ce n'est pas possible.
So The Umbrellas of Cherbourg is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, it's known for its sultry colors. It's known for its sung-through musical component, very operatic in some sense. But it was also part of the French New Wave, which, for people who don't know, the French New Wave was the tail end of the 50s to the mid to late 60s, where this young generation of filmmakers in France suddenly had access to cameras that were small and portable and film stock that could accept lower levels of light. So they could take the process of shooting a film outside the studio and into real locations. They could do more abstract and creative things with a camera. Mm-hmm. And because this young generation like Jean-Luc Godard and François Truffaut had started out as film critics, they had a sense of what film was as a text and where they wanted to take it. And they were also very steeped in the lore of Hollywood and the tropes of Hollywood, but they wanted to take it a step further. And there's this tradition in French cinema of cinema as a text, as an artistic process, whereas in America, films came from a more of a vaudeville and theater perspective. That's where that evolved from. Mm-hmm. So we have a level of artistry, a desire for pushing the boundaries of what cinema is, an interest in deconstructing cinema within the text of a film, and we have this new technology which allows films to be more realistic in some sense.
So what makes The Umbrellas of Cherbourg stand out in the French New Wave canon as something that really people have remembered and gone back to? I mean, this movie came out in 1964. Why should we watch it?
Well, it's a classic because it's the ultimate conception of what Jacques Demy was trying to do, which was appropriate the tropes and the mechanisms of Hollywood musicals and do something different and new with them, and to take them in and subvert them in some sense. When you start watching the film, maybe you can talk about what you feel when you first start watching it. You think, oh, this is going to be a great Hollywood musical with a lot of singing and dancing, and there's going to be happy, peppy songs. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be singing in the rain. But it doesn't turn out to be that way.
Not at all. That's the thing. I saw it because I was at the library one day and thought, I like French movies, I'll check it out. And as soon as the opening credits begin, I was just taken with how literally umbrellas are like the first thing you see. It's a rainy day, but they're all Technicolor. It was still Technicolor. So they're these bright, vivid, beautiful colors, and they have this fantastic score, and Guy is this fantastic little auto mechanic in his little onesie, and he's singing about going out with his girlfriend. And then you're like, oh, this is going to be a love story. It's going to be wonderful. The whole thing is sung, but there's no choreography. There's no dancing whatsoever. They're just going through their motions, but singing about it.
It has some of the artifice of a Hollywood musical, but it doesn't have all of it.
Right. It has the artifice of the color, of the stock characters that you know about, like the star-crossed lovers, the protective mother. It has all of those things. So what happens in this movie is Catherine Deneuve plays the girl, a teenage girl who's in love with Guy, who ends up having to go serve in France. But oh my God, when he's in France, or not serve in France, serve for France in Algeria. And while he's in Algeria, she finds out she's pregnant with his baby. And her mom freaks out and basically makes her marry some other guy. This is the whole movie, I mean, in a nutshell. But it's 2 hours, and it moves, it's just so beautiful, it doesn't feel like it's a 2-hour movie.
Je ne te quitterai
Mon
pas.
amour, il faudra pourtant que je parte. Tu sauras que moi, je ne pense qu'à toi, mais je sais que toi, tu m'attendras.
It transitions very effortlessly, and the way it plays with time is really interesting. You have some time titles, and you also have some cuts that cut across stretches of time. So it's compressing a significant tract of their lives in a relatively small space, which helps to serve maybe the most startling thing is that our point of view character starts off as one person, and then it switches. So you get the sense of, a lot of times people talk about movies and they talk about symbolism, as if it were a literary text or a painting or something. But really, people maybe should be more talking about shots and construction and what that actually, the thing you see on screen makes you feel, rather than a code that you need to decipher. And in this case, you have a character that you're following, and then suddenly that character is gone. And the act of having that character no longer be there echoes and instills a sense of loss and longing or loneliness that you feel because the character actually is gone.
That's what Alfred Hitchcock did with Psycho. When they marketed the movie, Janet Leigh was the main character, and everybody was going to see Janet Leigh, and then she dies, and the rest of the movie, she's not in it at all.
You feel that sense of loss.
A bait and switch.
So I guess we can talk a little bit about the movie ending, although this is a spoiler. The movie doesn't end on the happy note that we are led to believe. Jacques Demy's pulling the rug out from under us in a sense, because at the very end, the guy Guy doesn't get the girl. He ends up with someone else, and he's happy, which I think is maybe the most interesting thing, is that he leaves and he's gone, and we see her fall in love, or maybe not fall in love, but marry someone else and establish a happiness, and then she disappears. He comes back and establishes a relationship with another woman and has a child with her. So at the very end of the film, they both have the lives that they want, but they're not with each other. So it really destroys the sense of true love, which is what we're usually anticipating in a Hollywood musical.
So here we have a Hollywood musical that destroys the sense of love. Excuse me, a French musical that destroys all sense of love.
True love.
True love. There is a functional love in this movie. What would you rate it?
I would give it 5 fingers. It's a classic. It's a must-see for anyone who's interested in French cinema and anyone who's interested in the boundaries of what a musical can and can't do.
I'm gonna give it 4, and I think I give it 4 only because it is sort of, I'm not going to say flat, but it's not for everybody.
No, it's definitely not.
It's not for, if you like going to movies that make you think and sort of leave you, I was satisfied when I watched it, but I wasn't like, that was awesome. I just thought that was a beautiful movie, and I'm glad I watched it, and I will recommend this to probably no one. So yeah, okay, so 5 and a 4. It's got 9 out of 10 fingers. Yeah. Okay, so stay tuned for the second portion of the interview that I had with The Fold with Barbara Howland and Becca Murray, and we'll be back after that.
Capitol Repertory Theater brings you the freshest, funniest, and most rousing adaptation ever of A Christmas Carol, starring Broadway leading man Kevin McGuire as Scrooge. Through December 22nd, only at the Rep.
Happy Christmas!
You have 3 projects as The Fold, correct? That's Lucky 13.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Lucky 13, Quitters, Freeloaders, and hashtag LA Problems.
That's right. I've watched hashtag LA Problems. That being on the East Coast, I'm like, I know this is funny, but I don't live over there.
Posting being like, I'm in Denver and this is funny. I was like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Hipster divas and crazy people.
Oh yeah, those hipsters, they're everywhere.
Ooh.
So you said it sounds like you've created all 4 of your projects. Like you guys have from idea to conception to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you guys are going to branch out so people start to come to you with project ideas?
Yes, absolutely. We have just for writing, Freeloaders is the first one out of that none of us wrote.
None of
It's
four of
written
us.
by the amazing Cassie Keat, and she is another friend of ours from where we study at Anthony Meindel's Actors Workshop, and she brought this to us and said, I wrote this for the 4 of you. Do you want to do it? It was great.
Oh, that's awesome. That must have been so cool. Or did you like high five a million angels when that happened?
We did. And she's amazing.
She's
and
so funny.
And she's an actor herself, but she's becoming a pretty big writer, and she's like, no, I wrote it specifically for the 4 of you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was your first project as The Fold?
Being under the name LA Problems started when we were already under the fold.
Yeah.
The other 2, again, we were all kind of working and helping, but we hadn't even picked a name. We hadn't started the business side of it, so I don't know
Yeah.
if you consider it the fold.
So, I mean, we're on Quitters and Lucky 13 as The Fold, as the production company.
Okay.
But it was still sort of in its
Yeah, gestation
period when we hadn't like signed a business license and a contract
Yeah.
and it made it all official quite yet.
So it was all happening like as those were still in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been like really exciting. You guys must have been like super energized by the whole thing.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
Awesome. So you
Yeah,
said the
it's
fun.
really cool, and it's so nice to see things like actually coming, like having a premiere and doing all those things, and I don't know, coming together and getting to see people as producers too. It was like this is being able to say like, no, this is our project is so
Good.
awesome. Be able to take responsibility for it.
That's awesome. So Lucky 13 just had its big premiere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that I got to see all the pictures on Facebook. You guys really like your happiness is so it's infectious. I'm looking at them and I'm smiling and I'm like, can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's just like it's so fun to do like the red carpet thing, and like our logo was on the media wall, and like we got to take a
felt
producer
fancy.
picture. You
Very
feel
fancy.
fancy.
That's awesome. So you've given us clips to both to 2 shows called Lucky 13 and also Quitters. And so since you guys created it, what gave you the ideas for? Let's start with Lucky 13. What was that conception?
That is actually all for the most part based on true events that Sam Browley, one of our partners, and his 2 writing partners, so there were 3 of them that wrote that, their real experiences when they went to drama school together. And they had a lot of crazy stuff happen. They're put in sections there, and their section was called Section 13.
Okay.
So it was this group of people that you're with like the whole time you're there, and it's about all of those events.
Oh wow. So how many episodes is it?
Right now it's just the pilot.
Okay.
The pilot's the only thing that's been shot.
Okay.
But they've got most of the season
The first season
ready to go as soon as
They get more funding.
as soon as they get some funding.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, working on for that. There's some murmurings of things happening.
Yeah, so that's why we had a big premiere and just have the first one done, and there were some producers there, and hopefully people get excited about it and give us money.
So what's a premiere like? Like there was clearly a carpet of some sort, whatever color it was, and just everybody came in and there were pictures, and was there food and stuff? Is there food at these things?
There was popcorn.
It was cute. We had popcorn
And
machine
wine.
for people and wine, of course. So there was like a lot of mingling beforehand, taking pictures, stuff like that. then the showing of the pilot, and then a Q&A afterwards, and it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So with Quitters, the other series that we've been talking about, that one, did that have a premiere, or was that more of a quiet, like, here's our project?
That one is Mike's baby, and so he's the one that wrote that, and it's sort of been his pet project, and he went a different route with how exactly he released it. Technically, it did have a premiere, but it was at a short film night at a local. There's a bar restaurant around here that it's huge, and they have a lot of screenings and premieres and stuff there, and so it was part of a little film festival that they did there. That was pretty awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And then sending it out to some festivals and things, and then it got put up online.
Yeah. So then submitting it to things, and so that's been more of just doing screenings around town and stuff, as opposed to having one big red carpet.
Oh, cool. So where can...
the second, working on the sequel to that one too.
Oh, so Quitters 2?
Yeah, Quitters Part 2.
More quitting?
Quitting harder.
So where can people catch your shows? Is there a direct website?
YouTube,
we'll have a URL.
Of course, the amazing YouTube. Yeah. We have our own YouTube channel under The Fold, The Fold Productions. And that up there now does have some videos Becca and I have been doing, helping with freeloaders. And it also has LA Problems on there.
And the trailers for right now for the other projects, Lucky 13 and Quitters, but not the full things yet. Those are they are online and you can view them if people are interested in that. But with those submitting them for festivals and things like that, it feels a little bit more special if people haven't already watched it. It becomes it's more of an event to go out and catch it at this place where it's going to be showing, and just watch it on their computer.
Yeah, we had, I'm sure you know this, A Place Beyond the Pines filmed in Schenectady. What? And they actually had a small premiere where the director, I'm going to butcher his name, Derek Cianfrance, that guy, and Bradley Cooper came, and Bradley Cooper was dressed like a hiker. It was kind of hilarious. He had he might have brushed his hair, I'm not sure. But everybody went nuts, and the community was so welcoming to it that word on the street is there's now the production company that does Breaking Bad wants to actually bring a studio here.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah, so I don't think Schenectady is going to become, the LA of the East. But what would you guys, having famous people around all the time, what advice would you give to Schenectady? What to do if they spot a famous person?
Treat them like a normal person.
Treat them like a normal person. Because we do run into people a lot out here, and it could be at a party, or it could be at the grocery store, or it could be, but don't freak them out. Be like, oh my God, don't do that. They're just people.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I work at a radio station for my day job, a public radio station, and Jenna Fischer came in the other day for an interview, and I love her, and I watched The Office religiously, and I felt like she was one of my best friends, and I feel like she probably gets that a lot. But it was one of those things where she came in, and I was like, I have so many things I want to say to you right now, but I'm not gonna be that person, because I know you get that all the time, and people probably just walk up and hug you, and that's weird. But she was so lovely and nice and gracious.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I freak out with famous people. To our viewers, we all saw The Crucible on Broadway, and I tell this story all the time. Mm-hmm. Laura Linney came out, and
that's one of my favorite moments is you and Laura Linney. Yes, I tell that story all the time.
it was the worst. I looked at her and I said, I love everything that you do. And she was so nice and so gracious. And she just said, thank you. And then Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon walk out of the stage door, and Barbara just kept her cool and was like, wasn't that show really good? And I'm like, so needless to say.
You left out the best part of that story. The best part is when you were talking to Laura Linney and you were like, I love everything you've ever done. And she goes, I've done some crap.
Yeah.
She was just so
you
cool.
went, no. And she's like, no.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm like everybody else was totally calm and I was just like it's
It was great.
I just remember staring at Tim Robbins and being like, "You are so pretty in person. Pretty. He's so tall and handsome." And I did tell him, I was like, "My dad would kill me if I didn't tell you that Shawshank Redemption is his favorite movie."
Anyway,
That's nice to. My dad was like, "That you're right. I would have gotten really upset if you had not told him that."
So let's see. So that's your favorite celebrity story, Rebecca. Barbara, do you have one? Or even
Becca's looking at me. She wants me to tell this one. So we'll talk about nice people. I mean, as if it already isn't out there. Hey, girl, we're gonna talk about Ryan Gosling, who we've somehow run into 3 times out here. Okay, very weird. But the last time, of course, he's not gonna remember us. It was at like parties and things at a bar. This time, Becca had an old Carmen Ghia.
1972 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia was my car.
Car,
it broke down a lot.
This freaking car broke down all the time. We were on a hill, okay? This car broke down. It's so heavy. Becca and I are out in front of the car, all dressed up, like holding this car,
trying to push it
into traffic,
the street,
and push it up the street. This black SUV pulls up, goes around us and parks, and out jumps Ryan Gosling and one of his friends, and they came and helped us push her car, and they were so nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And then hopped back in their car and left. And I was like,
wow. Yeah.
It's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But then I figure we've run into him 3 times, but that was the last time. So I figure the next time we run into him, has he ever pushed a Carmen Ghia before? So he'll remember us next time.
Yeah.
Like, you helped push my car that time.
Do you still have that car?
No.
Oh,
I had to sell it.
man.
I know, I loved it so much, but it got to...
This is LA. She couldn't go anywhere without
I got a Civic. I was like, I need something that's just reliable. When I go to my car, I want it to start every time, without fail.
Yes. I think we all want that.
Yeah.
How are we on time, Tim?
We got like 20 minutes.
Okay,
20
so
minutes in, so I mean,
well, we got a couple of minutes in. Okay, so just a couple
yeah.
more.
yeah, probably be tripping over the camera. I might want to edit that.
Yeah, that's like a couple minutes. So
That's definitely making it in.
yeah, I want to. So
It's got to be a part of this.
so I'm really excited for what you guys have been working on and what I know that you're gonna bring. So and I'm sure this has been like a really rewarding experience for you guys. How do you have other ideas? I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. So you got 4 things kind of in the can, ish, half in the can, and do people actually say that out there? I got this in the can.
In and around the can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Woohoo. And so where would you like to see this go? Would you like this to be, Becca, you said you work at a radio station as your day job. Would you like this to be your day job?
Oh, that would be the best thing I could possibly imagine. I think it'll probably be a little while before that happens, but I think we have some really good ideas in the works. We all sort of have like our own pet projects like that have been floating around in the background of our head, and now that we have an outlet for that and a team to sort of work on it and help get that stuff off the ground, I think that 2014 is going to be a really busy and really amazing year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you guys are acting in Freeloaders, but you didn't act in the other projects that you mentioned.
I acted in...
hashtag.
In LA Problems.
Right.
I'm not in the pilot of Lucky 13, but I'll be in it later.
I've seen you in the pictures. You guys, like, yeah, everything looks awesome. I'm gushing at you. Listen, look at me. Like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna get to say I went to college with them.
I mean, that's what's so cool
on your show.
Yeah,
you have a
right?
show.
You have a show. That's so awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're just surrounded by so many amazing people. And we're like so inspired by the people around us all the time. And from, people who work behind the camera to like photographers, which is how, you get those pictures that look so amazing, and like having just everyone, we're around so many amazing actors all the time who are just incredibly inspiring, and that just really, I don't know.
Yeah, that was sort of
helps
it.
you to write good stuff too.
With the Fold, we did all have ideas and want to be doing stuff on our own, but at the same time, we were like, I want to be working with these people. I want to be working with my friends who are doing this, whether they're directing, writing, acting, all of it. So what are we doing? We have all these amazing people and resources, and we want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that same thing that like the Kevin Smiths of the world and the Judd Apatows of the world, they just work with their friends
Yeah.
and have so much fun, and it translates. You can tell, you know, and there's that chemistry, that built-in chemistry is there when you've known someone for
Forever.
so many years.
We're not that old. I do want to
No,
say
no.
that. Like, I mean,
we're like 23. We just graduated.
oh,
Done like
so
a-
like totally, you guys. Recently, I just, for me, it's been awesome following you guys because you're just taking things by the hair and saying, I'm going to make this happen for me. And that's inspiring for people, whether they want to act, write, or teach math. I don't know. So I just thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and call in from West Side. I don't know. Yeah.
West Side.
Yeah, I'm really not good at that. So
Those are really fun.
yeah, so you guys, The Fold is on Facebook, and you're on Twitter, and it's just The Fold, right? You guys
The
are
Fold
easy to,
Productions.
The Fold Productions,
Yeah.
so you're easy to find.
Yes.
And man, if you guys do something with a gay theme, we'll absolutely premiere it at QFest.
Oh, but yeah.
Amazing. We do have one, so keep watching Lucky 13 when all of that comes out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
For reals?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, then we will keep our eye out, and we'll have all of
That'd be
our
awesome.
listeners and watchers keep our eye out. But seriously, follow them, you guys. I follow them, and it's been awesome. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Your success at this school, in this business, depends on you. You all will learn something, whether it's about acting, each other, or yourselves. Take a look around. These are the people that you will most likely be spending the next few years with. The year to come will be one of the most challenging of your lives. There will be many struggles ahead. A lot of this business depends on luck. Some of you will be lucky. Unfortunately, some of you won't. Welcome to Section 13.
A big thank you to Barbara Howland and Becca Murray from The Fold for being with us for that wonderful two-part interview. Make sure to check out The Fold on Facebook, Vimeo, and YouTube, and to see the great project that they have going on. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.